What a night. Oh gosh, what a night. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good.
Sak passe, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You're listening to Goal Diggin with Dagmar, and I'm your host, Dagmar D'Amour, your Carolina's agent, unlocking the home of your dreams. Before we begin with today's show, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Lightwalker Photography. Lightwalker Photography is owned and operated by Norman Walker. Norman is a creative, multi-published photographer located in Charlotte, North Carolina, specializing in beauty, fashion, and maternity portraits. Book your next breathtaking photo shoot at lightwalkerphotography.com. The legendary Michael Jordan once said, "I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." I want to talk to you all today about failing, more precisely, failing forward, failing your way to success. But before we get into all of that, allow me to introduce myself. I am Dagmar D'Amour, published author and award-winning realtor servicing Charlotte, North Carolina and surrounding areas. You can find me on Facebook as Dagmar D'Amour Realtor, on Instagram at Your Carolina's Agent, and on the web at yourcarolinasagent.com. We often take to social media to post our successes. What we don't show are the challenges and obstacles that we had to overcome to get that win. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the GOAT, but what I do have in common with Michael Jordan is that I have learned to fail forward. I will admit to failing over and over and over again. So many times I stopped counting. To fail forward means to deliberately and purposefully use failure to find success. How you perceive and respond to these challenges can determine your ability to succeed. Born to Haitian immigrant parents. I think we need about 4 or 5 shows to deep dive into what it feels like to be the first American-born generation to immigrant parents. West Indians, Africans, Asians, Hispanics, regardless of what country your parents hail from. But I digress. I grew up on the Upper West Side of the greatest city in the world. Of course I'm referring to New York City. I attended private school on the east side of Manhattan and studied at the French Institute on Saturdays, where I learned to parler français and indulged in buttery croissants. Central Park was my backyard, and Lincoln Center was in walking distance. I became a published writer at the age of 13. Super focused and goal-oriented, I won citywide award competitions for my writing. I was a straight-A student who had my pick of colleges, and I chose to attend an HBCU solely based on the way HBCUs were portrayed on A Different World. Yes, I based my college decision on a television show. Don't at me. And let me tell you, my HBCU experience was amazing. For me, Hampton University was an environment that fostered success. Professors who cared about our journey and wanted to see us all succeed both in and out of their classrooms. Peers who supported and uplifted each other. We'll have to talk about the whole HBCU experience on another show. Somewhat sheltered growing up, I wasn't fully prepared to navigate the world away from home. Part of that inexperience led me to getting pregnant my senior year, and that's when things began to change. I was no longer just responsible for myself. I had a whole little human that was now depending on me to keep her alive. My personal goals were moved to the back burner, and my only focus was providing a childhood experience that she wouldn't have to heal from and keeping a roof over her head. And I failed. On every one of those goals, I failed. Turns out raising a little human is unpredictable, it's hard, and is filled with unforeseeable challenges. I worked at a video store and a call center, went to college full time while raising a child full time. No family in the area, and all my friends were struggling college students who did their best to provide whatever support they could to me and my kid. Working 2 minimum jobs and struggling to pay rent and daycare didn't allow any room for me to build a safety net. I eventually fell into eviction. I got evicted because I could not afford to pay my $299 rent. So right there, I failed at keeping a roof over our head. Several days before the eviction, I went to 2 separate churches asking for help. Both promised to send movers and provide housing options the next day. Neither church showed up. Eviction day came, and the sheriff ordered the maintenance men to put my belongings on the street. I watched as one of the maintenance men gleefully placed my furniture on his personal truck because he liked my sofa set. We watched as the neighbors ravaged through our belongings, taking the crib, toys, and baby clothes back to their apartments. I have failed on providing my daughter a childhood experience that she wouldn't have to heal from. I could have let that experience keep me down. I could have decided while watching people pick through my possessions as though they won some sort of jackpot that I was done trying. But right then and there, I decided that my child and I would never find ourselves in that situation again. I decided that I wanted to provide her a home that would never be taken away because I couldn't come up with $299. My goal was to become financially stable with a safety net, and I vowed to always have a plan B in case support and resources didn't show up. I do have to shout out my Hampton Roads people that are now like a family to me. I would not have made it through that period of time without y'all. I love y'all. Fast forward 5 years later, I'm in a new area, financially stable, purchased my first home. I'm thriving. I had several months of expenses saved. Things are looking up. And that lasted all of 8 days. 8 days. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion on failing forward. You're listening to Goal Diggin with Dagmar, and I'm your host, Dagmar D'Amour, your Carolina's agent, unlocking the host of your dreams. You're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those streaming live through free TuneIn Radio app and through iHeartRadio. You're listening to Goal Diggin with Dagmar, and I'm your host, Dagmar D'Amour, your Carolina's agent. Find your dream home today with Dagmar D'Amour, award-winning agent and author of the critically acclaimed book, The Complete Guide to Buying a Home. Get the best buying, selling, and investment advice to select your dream property. Call 704-750-0088 or visit yourcarolinasagent.com. That's yourcarolinasagent.com, unlocking the home of your dreams. If you're just tuning in, we're discussing failing forward. When we left off, I was telling you about moving to a new area, becoming a homeowner for the first time, becoming financially stable, and managing to build a financial safety net. Feeling very much ahead of the game at this point. Things are great, like I said. Future is looking bright, but it only lasted about 8 days. 8 days after moving into our first home, my daughter experienced a near-fatal accident that sent me spiraling financially. Besides the physical trauma, there were devastating financial consequences that completely wiped out my savings account. So while I was dealing with the medical costs and the aftermath of this catastrophic accident, I came to find out that I was a victim of a predatory subprime mortgage loan. During this vulnerable time, I was targeted by inept and unscrupulous real estate agents, lawyers, and investors. Not being educated on all the options available to me and not knowing whom to trust, I ended up losing my home despite fighting to keep it for 2 years. I've decided to bring you Dagmar transparently and unapologetically so you can know who I am and why I do what I do. If I can inspire one person to make it through, then I've done my job. After the break, we'll wrap up our discussion on failing forward. You're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those streaming live through free TuneIn Radio app and through iHeartRadio. You're listening to Goal Diggin with Dagmar, and I'm your host, Dagmar Demore, your Carolina's agent. Find your dream home today with Dagmar Demore Realtor, award-winning agent and author of the critically acclaimed book, The Complete Guide to Buying a Home. Get the best buying, selling, and investment advice to select your dream property only at yourcarolinasagent.com. That's yourcarolinasagent.com. Unlocking the home of your dreams. If you're just tuning in, we're discussing failing forward. I learned my life lessons through trial and error, often without a support system or encouragement from others. I've had to overcome many life-altering challenges such as emotional distress, financial instability, and homelessness. My children and I were once turned away from a homeless shelter where I was told that I was too educated and too employable to be in need of help. However, I learned that there are a lot of things that are not within our control, and life's challenges are not meant to paralyze us. They're supposed to help us discover who we are. I conquered those challenges through faith, focus, determination, and failing forward. Learning to fail forward is a skill which requires us to view failure as a necessary part of learning. It's a shift in mindset. Failures make us rethink, reconsider, and find new ways and strategies to achieve our goals. According to John C. Maxwell, the cycle of success is test, fail, improve, re-enter. What am I changing because I failed that's going to make me better? Those victories led me to where I am today as a realtor whose mission is to ensure that individuals and families have an advocate who understands that owning a home offers a stable foundation for their life, serves as an entry point into establishing generational wealth, and offers security and peace of mind. As a certified short sale and foreclosure resource that is committed to helping distressed homeowners navigate one of the most difficult challenges a homeowner can face. As a radio show host that will use her platform to inspire, educate, and empower her listeners to achieve their individual goals, whether in life or in real estate. And as a friend that will always speak life into you when you don't have the strength to even whisper. My journey has been about filling in the gaps for others with love and support and genuineness. I encourage each of you to continue your journey with perseverance and focus. I leave you with words from Brendon Burchard, author of the Motivation Manifesto. Let us believe faithfully that achieving our goals are worth any struggle. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Continue to tune in every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Please remember to connect with me by going to wdrbmedia.com. Click on the radio shows tab and go to the Goal Diggin radio show page. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show or want to learn more about advertising and sponsorship opportunities, email me at media@goaldigginradio.com. You've been listening to Goal Diggin with Dagmar, and I'm your host, Dagmar Demore, your Carolina's agent, unlocking the home of your dreams. On WDRB Media, the voice of the community, for double the information and inspiration. Until we speak next week.